I used to be a drummer. I wanted to be a rock and roll star. In high school, that was all I cared about. After high school, I went on to college to study a practical music course, which was designed to turn you into a well-rounded session musician, somebody who could go into a studio with bands or somebody who could go on tour with bands. I did that for 2 years. And when college was coming to an end, all of my friends were going off to university or going into full-time employment, and I gave myself permission to take the summer off, to just spend it with my band, to play gigs, to get into the studio, to just have fun making music. I told myself, when a summer comes to an end, I'll seriously consider what my next career move is, because back then, this was what, 13 years ago, 12 years ago, summers lasted a lifetime, right? Whereas now they go like this. I didn't actually get that opportunity because just a couple of weeks after college finished, my dad, who ran a digital insurance business, died. And he left this business to me, his 18-year-old daughter, who had no experience running a business, who had no understanding of the insurance industry. But because I was the only person in the family with any experience coding, I used to build websites for the bands that I played in, I was the only person that could really keep things ticking along. I went from hitting things every day to sitting sitting at a desk and selling insurance. It was a complete change in lifestyle and identity, and to be honest, I was miserable. I hated it. Because we were a small business, we couldn't financially delegate a lot of stuff, so I had to learn as much as possible myself. I had to learn marketing, I had to learn search engine optimization, I had to learn even more about HTML and CSS so that I could maintain the websites and build new ones. And I really enjoyed building and designing websites. I mean, I was terrible at designing websites, but I really enjoyed the act of wireframing them and then sitting down at a computer and using code to bring them to life. So much so that I ended up immersing myself in the web industry. I started going to web conferences, I started reading web magazines, I started following all of the prolific web designers and developers on Twitter so I could learn from them. And it was through being exposed to this industry and these people that I realized design and technology in the insurance industry sucks. It's getting better now, but it was really bad back then. So I thought, I'm going to make it my mission to improve design and technology in the insurance industry in whatever capacity I can. So, the bread and butter of any insurer's business is their quote system. If I go to an insurer's website, it's probably because I want to get a price for a policy that I'm wanting to buy. So I wanted to focus on that aspect of the customer journey. I taught myself enough back-end code, Ruby on Rails, to be able to build a prototype of a quote system. And it was fully responsive, which now isn't a big deal, but this was 5 years ago when responsive design was just starting to kind of gain momentum, which means that the insurance industry would have taken another 2 or possibly even 3 years to catch up, because the insurance industry moves at a painfully slow pace. I built this quote system. I took it to London to demo it to an insurer down there. That demo went really well. They were like, wow, we love this. We will give you £20,000 a month to build this, to oversee a team and to make this happen. We'll give you whatever resources you need. I was like, well, kerching, and I just felt like I'd made it because I was going to be earning money doing something that I really enjoyed. But that never happened. Of course it didn't happen. That's too good to be true, right? Your first ever pitch, your first ever demo, you walk in and nail it? Of course not. I learned this lesson that I would go on to learn again and again in insurance, and it's that insurers say they're willing to try your new idea, and yet they aren't really. You never hear from them again. I spent a year of my life trying to move this project forward, and it never did. This insurer, they just weren't willing to really let me in and give me the data that I needed to build this system. After a year of that, I was like, okay, I am wasting my time. It's time to move on to something else. But I was still really invested in the whole vision of improving design and technology in the insurance industry. So I decided, well, I'll start a new business. And my business business will have design and technology at its very core. It will be creative. I will just focus on improving the customer journey and doing so in a really fun, engaging, creative way. Now, it sounds simple. I've started businesses in the past. You come up with a name, you register a domain, you throw a website up, and you, of course, register with HMRC to pay your taxes. Starting an insurance business was far from easy. First of all, it's a regulated industry, but it was an absolute minefield for me to navigate. Secondly, I really struggled getting insurers on board. It was the same scenario as that first insurer that I pitched to. People kind of were interested in my ideas and what I wanted to do, but they weren't willing to take that chance on working with me. Now, I don't blame them. At the time, I had no insurance qualifications, I had no existing book of customers, I had no indication that I could build a business to be a success, and I had no money to fund it. Of course, insurers were looking at me like, well, this isn't really all that appealing to us. I spent 2 years pitching my business to insurers, and not one of them wanted to work with me. That's 2 years of constant rejection. That takes its toll on you. One night I went to bed, I couldn't sleep because I needed to get this business off the ground to start making money, and I wasn't getting anywhere with it after years of trying. And on this particular night, when I couldn't sleep, I woke up at 3 and thought, I'm just gonna start doing work now. And I've been reading these insurance magazines because that's what my life has come to. Apparently, I now read insurance magazines. There was an article written by a guy who was talking about technology and insurance, and I found myself agreeing with a lot of what he was saying. 3 in the morning, I decided to email this guy and say, I want to start this business, I have no idea how, please help me. When I woke up the following morning, I had an email from him saying, okay, I'll help you. Here's my number. And that was in March 2016. And by August 2016, I'd launched my business. It would have been really easy to quit, but I just believed I could do it. And I still haven't done it, right? I still haven't built a sustainable business that's improved design and technology in the insurance industry. But I will get there.